Hey guys, welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. This is Chandra, and today I'm doing a reading for Sara. And this particular reading is, this situation is a little deep. So, if you have a hard time dealing with emotional type situations or things of a heavy nature, this may not be something that you want to watch. Let me just go ahead and put that up front. The Sarah's been with this guy Alex for a while, and they've got a daughter together. And when she first got with him, he projected one thing, but then, like what often happens in relationships, you find out the skeletons in the closet a little bit later on, or what have you. And so Alex, he's got a bit of an addiction problem. He's addicted to heroin. And Sara has learned since being with him that he's a bit manipulative, and he's a pathological liar. He's lied to her and others probably. And at first she says that she stayed because she thought that she could help him with the addiction and that. And then she kind of found out what his true nature was. And then she just kind of says now that she stays because she's kind of scared about what he could do if she broke up with him, that kind of thing. Now, she does mention, which is a good thing, that so far he hasn't really been so much physically abusive, but she doesn't know what his reaction would be, say, if she did break up with him. So she wants to know, like, she wants to ask basically, like, if she's going to be able to end the situation, and she also, kind of a follow-up to that, just wants to kind of know, like, if he's going to change one day. And I mean, it sounds like she cares about him and that she really wants the best for him, and she wants to help him in the most positive way possible. And they have a daughter together and everything, and so that's pretty important. I mean, there's a lot of emotion and a lot of things that go on around this type of a situation. So put some thought to it, and we're going to do a different spread than I typically do. And just because of the nature and the seriousness of this situation, we're going to do a Celtic cross. Now, the Celtic cross spread it's one of the more complex spreads. It's real famous. I mean, it's probably one that is the most requested. I get requested it quite a lot. Oftentimes, though, I suggest that it's not always necessary. So, but in a case like this, and more serious cases than that, I do tend to think that the Celtic Cross is a really good one. It's a 10-card spread, basically, and it walks us through a lot of different aspects of both sides of the situation. And that's one of the reasons why I do like doing it from time to time, with more serious problems and things that somebody might be having. So I'm just concentrating right now on the situation, and I've been doing this pretty much throughout the day. And I've gotten some answers already, but we're going to see what the cards have to say about it, and find out if we can get some resolution or some kind of solution or some kind of help for Sara. Because goodness knows, I mean, addictive situations, people that have addictions, it can be quite a traumatic thing to go through. And I mean, it's just, especially when there's children involved and everything else. So, okay, I'm going to cut the cards now. Okay, I'm just thinking about the situation here. So the first card is basically, this is basically you in the situation. it gives us a little bit of insight in terms of um, what's covering the situation. We have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Wow. The Knight of Swords stands charging off into battle by himself with a sword in his hand, covered in armor, protected, on a fast horse. The Knight of Swords is able to make quick decisions and able to formulate things in their mind quickly. These thoughts come very fast. Now, let's look at the situation. So the next card is really the situation, and it's what crosses the Knight of Swords. What crosses the Knight of Swords is this card. Okay? This is the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups are really the influences that are coming into play in this particular situation. And the Three of Cups in this situation it's not a bad card. It's more one of the three influences of relationship. And in this case, it's the daughter, it's Sara the mother, and then it's Alex the father. So we've got the three individuals involved. And it's also about new growth. I mean, in this particular card, it's about the newness of things, like trying to get things underway and, create a future and, create a happy future. And on many levels, the relationship, and there are really positive aspects, and it really is a family, and we feel that in this card. And that's kind of what the influence is at play right now. So so the next card that we pull is really we call this the Crown card, and the Crown card it's kind of like the hope card in a lot of ways. It's sort of like what our ideal situation would be if we could have things our way. This is about Sara and really what she's wanting at this point. We've got the World right here. Now the World right here is significant in this particular reading. The World is telling us that things are coming full circle for us. We've played our hand, the cards have been dealt, our situation has been put before us. And most often when we get to the World, it's because we've kind of learned some lessons. They haven't always been easy lessons. We haven't always been the best student, so to speak. But we have learned some lessons, and we've come out ahead. And, as far as our journey goes in terms of our development, in terms of adulthood and growing up, in terms of our, growing up is like developing ourselves mentally, spiritually, financially, developing ourselves in terms of being able to get out there and do things and take action and create and manifest things for ourselves in life. And so that's kind of, there's a freedom that comes with that. It's about being able to say that, I can take care of myself, I can take on the world. I can take on the world, and I can create the kind of life that I want. And that's really what the desire is. So now the next card is the root card. And it's the bottom card that goes opposite of the crown card. And the root card is kind of the root of the situation, is the way I always like to think of it. This is like overall the situation as far as Sara and Alex are concerned, and about this kind of relationship and this drug addiction problem that he has, and the things that go along with it. This is the Fool. Now, I don't know, in my many years of doing tarot, if I've ever had this type of situation happen before in the cards. It's pretty profound. What? Wow. See, the world is all about the end of the journey. It's about our development. It's about, being able to create wealth for ourselves, being able to create good relationships with others, being able to take decisive action, and also being able to think freely and smartly about situations, like how to get out, instead of letting our mind control us, how do we control our mind? The Fool, on the other hand, is the innocent, natured individual that really is not aware of such things that I just mentioned. And this personality here there's a lot of goodness in this person here, but there's a lot of naivety, and there's a lot of life lessons that have to be learned. And right now, this is at the root of the situation. It's about, it's about where Sara is right now. And the Fool is not a judgment saying or indicating that someone is a fool or that someone is acting foolish. It has nothing to do with that at all. Please don't take it that way. The Fool is actually a really, really good card, because without a little naivety, without being in the dark a little bit about things and the way that life works and the cold, hard truth about society and truth and justice and all the pitfalls and everything that go along with that, the Fool is able to be able to take action freely without worry or concern, because they just don't know any better. And sometimes it's good to have that in your life, because it really does help you to have a full life and to be able to move about and to do things. So it's yeah, I mean, it's not a so so the next card is moving us a little bit forward, and this card is about the immediate influences, the things that are, these are things that you want to pay attention to in the near future. Okay, we have the Judgment card. This is what you have right before you right now. This is Judgment. Judgment card is sort of like it's like the freeing of karma in a lot of ways. We put out certain actions and all, and we reap the rewards of those actions. And Judgment's really about freeing up those karmas, those actions, so that we can get on and It's not a bad card. We'll talk more about it here in a little bit when we look more holistically at this particular spread. Now we kind of look at maybe, kind of the past influences and things on that end. We've sort of looked at what the immediate influences are in that, but this is sort of just the immediate past influences in that. Okay, this explains quite a lot here to me. We've got the Tower card. The Tower card is a shaking up of things. Sarah's been through something recently. Her life has been shaken up. Her family's life has been shaken up as a result of this stuff. So the next card is a 7 card. And this 7th card is, 7 in numerology is all about spirituality and sort of your subconscious feelings and things. And so we learn from this particular card, we learn about like the Sarah's feelings, like what's going on with her. And Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. So in the beginning of the spread we had the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Cups is he's kind of the protector of the relationship. He's valiant, he's strong, and he's able to manage relationships and people's emotions and feelings a lot. And that's kind of where Sara is. She's really the emotionally strong one in this situation. So that's a good place to be at. That's where you're at right now emotionally. Perhaps some of that has had to do with the Tower and the shake-up, and sometimes we get to a place in life where we just kind of throw in the towel, and it's not that we stop caring, it's just that things stop affecting us as much emotionally and we become stronger for it. We put on some kind of a layer of armor that's kind of protective. It sort of protects us. So it's almost like saying if you have nothing to lose, then you really can't bother me. If I have nothing to lose, then there's nothing to lose. And so that's sort of like where the thinking is right now with this relationship is, I really don't have much to lose. But then there is a daughter, and there's that, but Sarah's a strong person. So, next we look at the house. This is your household. This is your daughter. This is Alex. This is you. What's going on with that? Okay. So we have the two of Pentacles. Sometimes they call this the Two of Coins. It's a balancing act. It's a financial balancing act, a resource balancing act. And in the backdrop we have some pretty rough water that those ships are on. But twos are about relationships, and it's like, it's about like one person taking importance over another person, and then eventually the wave lifts the other person up, and then they become the person that's most important. And so it's this back and forth of, who's taking precedence. Like, who is the most important person in that particular moment? Who's the person that I'm most concerned with and most focused on? Now, that could be that Sarah's sometimes, she's really, her daughter is number one always. And as a parent, that's typically what goes on. But there's also the relationship side of things, and that does occupy our time sometimes, to the point where that's all we can think about. And we wonder and we hope and we have these, we have so much inside of us that's yearning to get out and discover and become aware of other things. And so, yeah. So, next we have the fear of the situation. The fears are really the fears are like, and it's pretty obvious to me. I mean, I see this in Sarah's note to me here. It's, he's not physically abusive, but she doesn't know how he's going to react. I mean, if she tries to end things, she also doesn't know if one day he's going to change, which is what she ideally would like. I mean, nobody wants their mate to be addicted to some kind of stimulant, whether it be drugs or alcohol or anything. I mean, it's and it's one of those kind of situations that it just, it puts you in a really sad state. One minute you could care less about the person, the next minute you just absolutely have all the compassion and love and everything else in the world for that individual. And you really want to see him get help, but it's like you just can't help him, and that's the kind of situation that you find yourself in, and it's very lonely. I sense that, like that Knight of Cups right there is how she's feeling. It's like you're alone in the relationship. I have a lot of empathy for Sarah on that. Oh, wow. So let's look at the fears. We have the Queen of Pentacles. That's a good card. The Queen of Pentacles is a promising card for you, Sarah. I mean, your fears about money and being able to take care of things and handle everything on your own. You don't have to. You don't have to worry about that. Not with the Queen of Pentacles. You see, the Queen of Pentacles is able to. She's able to subtly make things happen. Like she never has to worry about money or anything like that. She doesn't have to worry about much of anything. She's an influencer, but she doesn't have to be out front and center in order to make those kind of things happen. So, so that's a really good card for you. Now let's look at the outcome. The outcome is really going to be what all of this is all about. Well, let's find out really what the cards are saying as of right this minute. And we have the Page of Wands. My goodness. I'll put these cards down for just a moment. So the Page of Wands is really the final result regarding this particular situation. Pages are messengers. They bring us messages. So there's a lot of value in this particular card. Wands. The wands are about doing and taking action. New actions. Well, I can tell you this, everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be completely okay. The So, all right, now I can give you I can give you everything you need to know as far as this goes. It's taken me a little while to get there, trust me, it has today. Everything's going to be fine for you. You have nothing to worry about whatsoever. You're a strong person. You have nothing to fear. Your child is going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And on some level, he's going to be okay. I'm going to put this down for just a moment. See, here's the thing. Here's the situation, okay? Heroin is a very addictive drug. And I honestly don't know how much you know about it. But a lot of times, people that don't get help with heroin end up overdosing. Probably the best help that you could get Alex, if you wanted to help him, and I know you want to help him, would be an intervention. But you have to be real careful with interventions. And I'm going to tell you why, especially when it comes to heroin. So you have to kind of weigh out your decision. And this is your decision. It's not mine to make. And I know it's easier to give the advice than it is to necessarily take the advice. Trust me, I know. But here's the thing. If you can get his family, your family, all the people involved, and you can get them together and give them an ultimatum and say, look, we care about you. We want to get you help. But we need you on board with this. Otherwise, I can't be with you any longer. I mean, I just can't. I cannot be in a relationship with someone that is going to continue to abuse drugs. You know, I love you. I don't want to leave you. But if you don't get help, if you're not willing to get help and willing to make that sacrifice or that commitment for all of us, I have no other choice. If you do that and he agrees to get the help and you do get him into rehab, my advice would be to kind of get this thing kind of set up ahead of time. Like, make sure that you qualify for the programs and all these kind of things, like kind of behind the scenes. And then a really good counselor will help you when it comes to doing the whole, you know, getting him into the rehab and that, you know, giving him the ultimatum and all of that. So, but the problem is, and the counselors and these people may not even mention this to you because they don't want to scare you, but I'm going to tell you the truth about it. What often happens when someone comes out of a rehabilitation program for heroin, oftentimes they might go up, you know, and start doing heroin the minute they get out of that rehab program. And because, you know, for that period of time, 30, 60, 90 days, however long they've been in there, their tolerances has changed. Their tolerance level has changed, you know, so they're not able to handle as much heroin as what they were before they went in. They don't know that. And so then they get out and then they go shoot up or whatever, and then, you know, the next thing you know, that person's dead because they overdosed. Because the same amount that it took to get them the high before is too much for them now. I mean, I hope you understand what I mean by that. So be very careful with that. I mean, you really have to, if you do get him into rehab and he goes to get out of the rehab, you need to iterate that point to him a little bit. let him know that, hey, look, if you do abuse this and you do that, you're not going to be around long. And if that does happen, I don't want you to feel responsible for it. I mean, you know about it. And it's like you've explained this to him, but it's not your fault if something were to happen to him. But I'm not really picking up anything like that is going to happen. The other alternative, and here's the thing, like our bodies make a chemical that is very similar to heroin for pain. It's, to ease pain in our system and that. There are people that have loads and loads of money and are in wonderful situations financially, and they can support a heroin addiction, and a lot of times people don't even know that they're addicted to heroin. I mean, there are subtle signs. I mean, like the person might be falling asleep a lot or something like that, but you can write that off as just their nature. You can say, oh, that person over there is just, look at him, just sitting on the couch, just going to sleep again, something you'd see like an older person maybe doing or something, It's sort of a behavioral thing when it comes to heroin addicts. And then sometimes heroin has the opposite effect. It can make a person, energetic and stuff to some degree. So it's got some very interesting behavioral things that go along with it. Somebody could some people can manage their addictions better than other people. They might do a dose in the morning, maybe one at noon, maybe one before bed or something like that, and and that's enough for them. Maybe spend $100 a day, and they can that can be kind of their situation, and they can function and stuff. I mean, I don't know what kind of life that is personally, but I mean, to each their own. I mean, everybody's got their own way of dealing and working through things. And I think most of us probably watching this YouTube video probably have known at least one person, possibly a handful more, maybe even a lot more than that, or ourselves been an addict at one point or other, that have an understanding of what the drug and what it can do in that. Now, I've never been an addict, and so I don't know personally like what your husband is going through, like when he's on the drug. And I know different people have different experiences with addictions. I personally don't like addictions, but I definitely know a lot of people that have had addictions, and so I definitely empathize with your situation and where you're at with this. But as far as you being able to change him and help him out of the addiction and stuff like that, that's not it's not for you to do, but it's also not going to happen. I mean, I'm just going to tell you that honestly. It doesn't. We always come in with the best intentions, thinking we can help the other person, and we really care about the other person. And we put ourselves in these kind of situations to where we feel useful or helpful. But with this situation that you're in, I'm picking up that, probably the best recourse for you is going to be to do the intervention. And there's a big likelihood that, I mean, for the time being, you guys will be together. I see that. The family card is there. It's not like you're going to stop necessarily being a family. It's just that there's going to be a shakeup, or a shakeup has recently happened, and it's caused a lot of concern. A lot of concern is a good way of putting it, and I really do emphasize that. So, with the emotions and everything the way they are and what have you, I really don't see that this relationship is going to be the healthiest thing for either one of you, including your daughter. I'm picking up that you're a strong person and that you'll probably more than likely take action to leave the situation, and you'll be the decision. you'll be the decider on that. Like you will be the one to leave the situation, and you will be fine when you do. He's not gonna physically abuse you, or his reaction is not gonna be that per se. He may be very upset, but there's also going to be a little part of him that's going to be a little bit relieved as well, because it's a hard thing to carry a family and an addiction at the same time, and that comes with guilt and other things. And so when people start to feel guilty and they start to have these kind of thoughts start to get them, and we saw that Knight of Swords, then that inner conflict can really play a role in our psychology, and it causes the person maybe to become a little bit more addicted, or more. So it has kind of the reverse effect than what you would want it to have. A person may say, I need to go get a hit and get a fix, and they end up in that kind of a situation, and it just escalates, and it just it heightens the problem, and it doesn't solve anything. So anyway, let's just for the sake of all of this do another 3-card. I want to do something just because the timeline is, I want to get a better idea of this timeline of when you'll be leaving him and what that situation will look like. So I can already see in my mind that you stay with him for some time longer. I'm not sure exactly how long that's going to be, though. Probably when you're a little bit more financially solvent. Like you feel a little bit more better financially, I'm thinking. So you need to watch that money a little bit. So let's do a 3-card spread for you and just get a little bit more understanding about when you'll be leaving and what the case will be. And this is assuming like nothing changes. I mean, it may not be within you to do an intervention. I'm kind of picking that up. Like that may not be the avenue that you decide on. And if it's not, then the next most logical step would be to leave. So let's find out when that's going to be. So we'll look at 3 months out, we'll look at 6 months out, and we'll look at 1 year out to kind of see where things are at. And that will help maybe pinpoint in the next year kind of where we're at with everything. So right now we're in April, we're in the middle of April. May, June, July, middle of July. So maybe around the 20th, 17th, 20th of July, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. So the first card is this July card. The Magician. Some strong male influence may be coming into your life to give you strength and to give you resources and to give you power back, to get you back on track. That's about July is what we're looking at for that. So July, August, September, October. So somewhere around October, we're looking at about the 6 months out. October the 20th, maybe, or something along those lines. Let's see. The Star. It's a good card. Whatever you want, whatever you wish for is yours. In October. It's a very good card. You'll be in a good situation. So we have October, November, December, January, February, March. April brings us back to April here. Good. I did that right. So April would be a year from now, this April. And we have the Page of Cups. It's a very intuitive card, and it's a message of relationships. You'll be in a new relationship. You'll be in a new relationship come next year. Now let me see if I can get some ideas or kind of zero in on this a little bit. You have the Magician, the Star, and the Page of Cups. The Magician is going to give you the infinite resources you need to be able to handle this situation. You'll be both mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally able to handle this situation. The Star is going to give you what you want. So you just have to kind of know what you want and be careful what you wish for is also kind of the old adage with the Star. So be careful what you wish for because you're going to get it. And then you'll come onto a new relationship, and this will be a very good relationship. There'll be some kind of a spiritual overtone to this relationship. It will play a significant role on you spiritually. And emotionally, it will be good for you. You won't even really... The past will be the past in a year from now. Like, this will be an afterthought to you. It'll still be a part of your life on a small scale, but you will have learned a lot. You will have come full circle. You'll have come, back around to the world, which is what you had. That's what grounded you. So lessons will be learned, things will be achieved. A good situation comes into your future. A good situation comes into Alex's future also. Alex is going to be getting some help, but I don't pick up that it's coming through you. It's going to be something else. It's going to be someone else that shares his problem. And that person's going to have an influence over him, and it's going to be good for you and your daughter, and it's going to be good for Alex. But as far as a relationship goes, you're a very strong person, and you just need to use that strength, and your ability to get what you want is really good. You need to be able to use that natural persuasion that you have, that natural charisma that you have. I mean, you say that he is very like a pathological liar, manipulative type person, but he's outright about it. Like, it's very easy for you to assess that. Maybe not at first, but and that's the nature of a heroin addict. They're able to say the right things, do the right things, persuade you, make you feel a certain way. They know all the right buttons to push in that. And that's what manipulation is pushing people's buttons, and and they're able to lie to you and get away with it, and then you just eventually become immune to it, to where you're just like, I can't believe anything this person says, but oh well, it's just what's new, I can go on and continue in this way, but what's the use, right? But you're going to be in a good situation. Come next year, you're going to meet someone that's going to really have a lot different influence, and it's going to be very spiritual. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for your health too. This type of a relationship is going to be good for your health and your overall well-being. Physically and stuff, you're going to be doing well, and mentally you're going to be doing well, and money will be there too for you, but it's not going to be like grandiose riches or anything, but it is going to be there. You will be provided for. Like, things will come into your life. Things will be good for you on that end. And it's really good that you know that. Come October, though, mark my words, like, October is something that you need to really pay attention to. Like, right now, while you're in this situation, give the best of yourself that you can. But just know that the resources and stuff that you need to to be able to leave this situation are coming, and by July they'll be yours. And then you'll probably leave sometime between July and October of this year. You'll leave him, and you'll be okay. And then come October, you'll start to have certain desires, and things will start to become a lot more clearer to you. Things that you didn't think about before will start to come to fruition. And the powerful thing about the star card here is that what you want, at that time, whatever you wish for, whatever you're desiring, whatever your heart's desire is, it will come and become manifest in your life. The star is also about like looking to that north star, like looking for the signs and the symbols and the omens. So if you haven't left him by October, you'll at least have a good guiding light to show you the way, and you'll be ready to take on that at that time. November at the latest, though. November, December at the latest. You're out of that relationship. But I'm thinking for you, if it were me and it was my decision, and I know this is happening, I would plan to do it maybe around July or August, sometime this summer, when the energy is better, it's summertime, there's activities and things you can do, there's fun in the sun, it'll be lighter, more sunnier times and stuff for your daughter, it'll be easier for her to adjust and stuff this summer if you decide to leave at this time. If it doesn't happen, at least you'll be getting the resources and things in order at that time to make it happen. And then by October, yeah, I mean, it's, and honestly, you could leave earlier than July. I'm definitely seeing that you could leave earlier than July, but if you do decide to leave earlier than July, if it's sooner rather than later, it may just be July before you really start to feel more comfortable, like with this situation of having left. Like you may feel, if you leave him too soon, like if you leave him now, you're going to be okay, but you're not going to know that you're okay, and it's that feeling of not knowing that really haunts us, and it really makes us feel, God, just that uneasy feeling. If you get to July, though, you'll have the resources, everything will be there for you, and you'll really be mentally ready to do it and ready to take action at that time. By October, certain omens and certain things will start to come about in front of you. And those are things that you need to be very careful to pay attention to. And like I said, that star is going to grant those wishes for you. So whatever you're desiring and stuff at that time, just be sure that it's really what you want, and think big. I mean, you don't have to think small. Like whatever your desire truly is, chase that desire and it will come about for you, guaranteed. A year from now, when we come back to now, this Page of Cups is the meeting of a new relationship. This is a message of relationships, and like I said, it's gonna your feelings are gonna be you're gonna be vastly different in a year from now than you are right now. Your whole situation will be changed. Your mindset will change. The way that you handle things will change. Everything is going to be changed for you. So, yeah. So I mean, Sarah, this is the best I got for you. I hope that this really does help you. Like I said, I empathize with you. If you need me, as your tarot coach, I'm here for you. I want you to reach out to me if you need anything at all. And I will try my best to help you any way I possibly can. And I see only positive things for you, so it's okay. Well, I think it's about time to end this reading. As I normally do, if anyone else out there who's watched this video and seen this reading and has picked up anything that they can share with Sarah, please put it in the comments below this video. Any practical advice you want to give her, any spiritual advice you want to give her, please, don't hesitate to do that. But let's just be very, sincere in the advice that we give. Let's not be silly here or crazy. And then also, For anyone watching, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We do put out these videos from time to time when we do readings for people, and they're fairly regular, so you might want to hit the bell icon, which will give you notification every time we put out a new video. And of course, because they are on YouTube here, you'll be able to watch this anytime you want and kind of reflect on it from time to time. So I think it's good to have kind of a journal of things so that you can see things, as life progresses. We can kind of start to see things out. And of course, my disclaimer always is that, we are all in control of our own destinies and our own futures. The decisions we make are the ones that ultimately decide that future for us. Having the knowledge and insight ahead of time, before the fact instead of after the fact, gives us the ability to be able to change that future however we choose. So it's very empowering, these readings, and to see where things are and to help us get an assessment of, really where we're at and where we're headed. So please, think of this as more like a tool for helping you to make decisions and kind of that guiding light for the future, and less about just, a prophecy of what's to come. I mean, this stuff that I share with you, this fortune and stuff, this is what's happening right now. This is what I'm getting at the moment. Again, this can change depending on your actions and the things that you decide to do based on this reading. So if you decide to do absolutely nothing and disregard this reading, this is ultimately what will happen. This future here. If you decide that you don't want to leave him and you want to stay in the relationship as is, and that you're willing to forgo happiness and let this pass, then ultimately that will be your choice, and you can do that. There's no judgment anyway. I mean, everybody's different, and we all have our own things that make us who we are, and there are certain things that some people can handle that other people can't. It's just, it's our innate natures that make us so different. So, ultimately, you just have to kind of use this as sort of a soundboard, more or less, to be able to help you, be able to get on and do things. But anyways, it's a very good future for you, Sarah. It really, really is. I always feel a sense of sadness when I do a reading like this, because when I tell someone that you're not going to be in a relationship with the person that you're currently in a relationship with, there's a loss that comes with not being in a relationship with someone that you're in a relationship with. There's sort of a, there's a part of us that yearns for the relationship to work out. There's a part of us that really yearns for that person to get help, and there's a part of us that yearns for this and that, and wants this ideal relationship to work out and stuff. And then there's another part of us that once the relationship is over, there's a sense of relief that happens. There's still that bit of sadness, though, that doesn't go away. So we have to honor those emotions. And even though you may feel a little bit of pain, or you may feel a little bit of guilt, or you may feel a little bit of sorrow even, and a little bit of sadness, just understand that you're making the right decision, that the resources are in front of you that you'll need to be able to surpass this, and that you're not only doing yourself a favor, but you're doing everyone a favor. Like, everyone is being helped by this decision that you will make to move forward. He's going to be helped. You're going to be helped. Your daughter is going to be in a much better situation. And, you just have to believe that and believe in yourself, and everything is going to work out. I promise you it will. I mean, the cards are telling me that. So I'm really happy for you. And, I really wish you all the best. And again, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here for you. All right. And that concludes our session today. Thank you very much.